no place like the Qube.
Hey, I'm Adell.
And I'm Anna.
And we are AD Productions. Get ready to nod your head and laugh out loud as we bring an unfiltered perspective to Black life in predominantly white spaces. So, welcome to the Head Nod, Season 1, Black Life at a PWI.
In dorms of diversity, we reside. Black lives at PWI, side by side. Together we learn, grow, and inspire. In the heart of the campus, our spirits are on fire. Yes.
We live. It's lit.
You are such a DJ.
I was about to say that. Ryan, please use that. Okay.
That.
And that's the perfect way to intro this episode, family. Welcome to the Head Nod. We got our friend, marketing guru, Fay is... Oh, you gonna do that?
I told you, I do it every time.
You do indeed. And I love it. We got our homie Fay in the building.
I'm sorry.
I can't talk. What
Fay is so distracted. She over there whole vibe.
I really should turn my camera off.
Go ahead. Welcome to the Head Nod. Boom, boom, boom.
Don't turn your camera off. We about to this episode.
We gonna be good. We gonna be good.
Okay. No, we not. That's gonna be the whole point of this whole episode. That's because our homie Fay is on, and we got no act right when Fay is in the building. Let me tell you a little bit about Fay and embarrass the mess out of her. Okay. Wonderful. Mm-hmm. She is an international hip hop fusion activist, educator, and marketing director with over 15 years of experience, specializing in brand partnerships, strategy, and collaboration within the audio content field. Fay is an award-winning graduate of the College of Charleston and earned her MBA from St. John's University. She is a cultural ambassador to the United States and voting member of the Recording Academy. Fay, welcome to the Head Nod.
What up? It took all I had not to interrupt and just make noises that entire time. It's like,
Fay was easing because people can't see this, but Fay just slow rocking in the chair, just ready to get it over.
Fading out of the camera.
I'm
happy to be here, though. I'm excited for this. I've been looking forward to this all day. So,
yes, you've been our day one, like for real.
I'm so proud of y'all. Like, congratulations! Like, this has been, and that's the thing with podcast creators. Like, what y'all do, I respect it so much, and I think that's why it not only makes my job easier, but I've had this whole thing. My word since 2020 was intention. I only want to do stuff I want to do. Okay. And it doesn't matter the attachment to it. You know what I mean? Like, and by that, I say all that to say, like, I saw the amount of work that y'all did at the beginning of this, and you see a piece of that when each episode comes out. So I want to for y'all real quick.
Hey.
And drop bombs, explosions, all of that after I say that. But no, shout out to y'all and congrats for the Head Nod.
And we really mean it, y'all. Fay was day one in the chat with us. Like, yo, Fay, we gonna need you. Fay was like, all right, what we doing?
Say less.
And Fay, say less. Fay was on meetings. Fay didn't even need to be on. We weren't even talking about marketing. Fay was just in here ideating with us, brainstorming, dreaming with us, you know.
I was happy to be invited. I was one of those, like, it felt like when you get invited to come to the party, finally as the kid. That's how I felt. It felt good.
Amazing.
You are a mess.
Now, Fay, right, because we honored to have you on the team, okay? We can talk about Fay all day, but Fay, you got to tell us, this is the Head Nod, tell us what PWIs you went to and if they got any school calls, right? So for Drake University, you'd be like, DU? So let us know what your university is and what your school calls.
We didn't even have school. So I went to College of Charleston for undergrad, and I went on an academic and an athletic scholarship. I don't even think we were cool enough to have calls. Like, it was We were just there. Our mascot was the Cougars, though. So we were the 7th oldest college in the nation and the first oldest college in South Carolina. But we're known as a party school. And literally, like, I think up until a couple of years ago, you could Google top party schools. It was like top 20. I'm not even making that up.
Damn.
Like, okay. It was, yes, in the nation. And that's a lot considering it wasn't a huge university. Like, it wasn't a really big school. Like, USC is bigger than us. SC State, I think, is bigger than us, too. But that's just how they roll. That's how them kids rolled in Charleston. And then for grad, I got my MBA at St. John's University, Red Storm. And people always ask, like, oh, were you there the same time as J. Cole? I think literally when I was coming into grad school, he was graduating undergrad. So we literally crossed paths, and I've never met him in person. And we also have the same birthday. So that's always my St. John's conversation. So I was like, let me just throw it out there now. That's how it goes. But
if you could make up a call, because that's what we ask when people don't have a call. So what would the call be for your school?
If I could make up one?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. C of C. Oh, maybe we did have a call. Maybe that was it. The C of C. Look, that's how much I was unplugged.
I mean,
I think it was now. C of C. Yeah. Okay. Maybe we did have one. I just made that up. That's how unplugged I was while I was there.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
So what did you get into at C of C? C of C. I can see that working.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I think it was. Also, we didn't have a football team. So, I feel like a lot of the calls and stuff, even though we had basketball, soccer, and baseball, like our baseball program was stellar. Like one of the guys, actually my teammate dated him while we were in freshman year, maybe through like her junior year. He actually plays for the Yankees now. So our baseball team was official.
Oh, wow.
Like they were really good. But we didn't have a football team either. And I feel like a lot of the calls and a lot of the chants and stuff come from football schools.
Yeah.
Or whatever, like, so anyway, but, while I was there, being a student athlete, I would say took up 90% of my schedule. And I mean that from off season to during the season. But I was also like a part of, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Black Student Union. I pledged my senior year, going into my senior year. So I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. So I always was like on campus, even in like during the summer. Like going into College of Charleston, my junior year, I was selected they have a program in South Carolina called Governor School. And it's like every high school in South Carolina, like all students are considered to be selected if you have a certain GPA, certain, all the qualifications or whatever. But it's only like, 50 to 75 students that get to go there early. So like from my junior year to like the end of my senior year, every summer, pretty much I was on campus. So during the school year, yeah. So it also made time to like just train over the summer as well. And like, basketball was a huge part of my life, like as a teenager. So it was great to like obviously get the good education, but as much time as I could be there to spend working on my craft, like I was all about that pretty much all 4 years. Yeah.
So just moving backwards and then forwards, what made you choose a PWI? Like, what made you go there? Was it the sports?
The sports had a lot to do. It's funny because I listened to y'all's conversation too, so I'm gonna try not to cheat in this question. But I wanted to go to Howard so bad. Like, Howard was like if Howard recruited me, I would have went to Howard. But Howard didn't recruit me as an athlete, and at that time, because I came from such a prestigious athletic program, it meant a lot to me to go to school on a basketball scholarship. And that was just a personal goal I wanted to prove to myself. I did not want my mother to pay for my schooling. I got into certain Ivy Leagues. Like I could have gone to better schools the academic route, but that's not what I wanted. So I didn't start my senior year. So I'm just going to give a little background on my program. And shout out to the girls that I played with. They literally just had a whole program to like name our old gym after my former coach. He's the most winningest coach in South Carolina for boys or girls sports, like period.
Oh, nice.
So Coach Bobby Young, shout out Bobby
dope.
Young. Yeah, he was amazing. It meant a lot to not only get a basketball scholarship as a girl in the early 2000s. Again, you got to remember, in this era, the WNBA is like a year or two old. Mm-hmm. So women,
they started in 97. Yep.
Exactly. So our most realistic standpoint was going overseas to play for Europe. And like after my senior year, I got recruited to go play for Turkey and a couple of other places, but I just didn't want to go overseas. Like, so when I was
got game. I got game.
First of all, that wasn't in the bio at the top. Like, there's more.
Not at all.
Like, you supposed to be playing professionally.
You can't put almost professional basketball player on your resume. Almost made it there. But
I mean, I think it counts. I think it counts, yo.
Maybe it counts. But yeah, so to reel it in and bring it to the point of why we're here, College of Charleston recruited me, and they were very earnest about wanting to recruit me to play, so there were, other, and the way the D1, 1A, D1, 2A schools, it was D1, 2A. And while I did get recruited by some D1A, which is more like your University of Tennessee, like your bigger schools that, we would watch on television back then. Now they put a lot more of girl sports on television. Shout out LSU. That's my team right now. Okay. So anyway, okay. But they made it very obvious that I would play as well, So it wasn't like I would be going to pretty much sit on the bench or a red shirt or whatever. And because I didn't have that security at my number one choice, which was Howard, I knew I would have to walk on. I knew I would have to prove myself to the coach. I knew I would, and not that there's anything against that. I think just at the time, that's what my focus was. Like looking back, like my mom saved all of my letters. So moving back home from New York, like she gave them to me and I was like, looking through it, and I'm seeing like certain colleges, like what the hell was I thinking when I was 18? Like it was just, it was just different priorities. So it was financial to some degree, right? And I know this conversation comes up a lot about budget as far as like HBCUs and what they can spend to bring students in and how that looks. So for me, it did come down to financial, and it did come to just personal preference of me wanting to, take a shot at my athletic career and see what would happen. And I mean, all in all, like sometimes I definitely think about like, what if I did go to Howard, or what if I chose one of those other schools? But you just have to trust and believe that the correct decision was made. And if I ever go for my doctorate though, that's
up
there.
Over to DC.
that's up there. So yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. I feel like Fay just dropped a whole bunch of credentials on us, and then it's like, but yeah.
I wasn't ready.
That was a long time ago. Now getting me up and down the court is a small miracle. Let me just bring in the reality. Bring in the reality of it.
I think that's true for all of us, okay? These knees don't work like they used to.
Listen.
But how was... Okay, I think you probably are like the first student athlete.
Yes. We've been wanting to talk to an athlete too, so this works out. Look at Fay checking the boxes.
You know what I mean?
I'll take it.
So Fay, Fay.
Athlete,
I mean, you're like our first student athlete.
All of them.
Yeah, that we were talked to. How was your experience at a PWI? At my PWI, the majority of the Black students were there on an athletic scholarship.
Yeah, and even in some places, it's expected. Like some people think it's an expectation that you're there as an athlete. As a Black student. Yeah.
My experience was it was a growth moment for me because my high school was predominantly Black. But I live in a very white state. And I didn't realize how not diverse South Carolina was until I lived in New York for 15 years. And I was coming home one time to visit, and I got off the airplane and I looked around. I was like, yo, this is a white ass city. Like, I never thought that before, you know? So for me, I had always been in mixed spaces, but it was rare that I was the only one. And so when I got recruited by College of Charleston, we might have had 2 other Black players on the team. You're talking about a team of 15 or 16 girls and everybody's white. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't have any agency, all of the terminology, all of the understandings that we have today. Like me as a 40-year-old woman, I can look back at 18-year-old me and I was not prepared. I wasn't prepared for racism. I wasn't prepared for microaggressions. I wasn't prepared for being able to assertively stick up for myself and finding that perfect line of not coming across as the angry Black woman.
Right.
You know, and so that's something that I've recently learned in adulthood, but back then I didn't. And so there was a lot of frustration. There was a lot of finding self, because also there's that dichotomy of, or if we want to quote W.E.B. Du Bois, souls of Black folk, you know,
come on.
It's like you're to some degree, like we've all felt that being called the Oreo, or being, you know, just told, oh, why you talk so white, or why you act like that, or why you listen to that music, or why, you know, just having, it's like I'm not Black enough, you know, for the Black folks, and I'm not American enough for the white folks, and not knowing why, and just going through it as a teenager, I had a tough time. Mentally, I had a tough time. And I would, you know, definitely have fits of frustration, because there's also that era of, oh, you're here as an athlete, so you must be dumb. And it's like, I graduated third in my class. Like, you know, don't play with me. Like, I had to work twice as hard to get half. And the other thing is, with College of Charleston, I think with South Carolina in general, you don't think about South Carolina until you start seeing the electoral votes. When we start making political decisions, it's like, why the hell does South Carolina get so many points? Like, and so here we call it old money. We know what that means, you know, but you got to think a lot of those students going to College of Charleston who have their grandfather's name on the building, they don't care about no class. I knew people, you know, who would literally just need to not even make a certain grade, just graduate, and you got a 6-figure job waiting on you, you know? And those were not luxuries that and again, this is me interpreting this as a grown woman, but as a kid, I'm like, yo, okay, yeah, I got to study. Yo, I got to go to practice, and I have to speak up in class. I had to sometimes do extra work in order to make sure that things are met, and then not get mad at my study group because I don't want to seem like the angry person. But these kids don't care because we're at a party school. So it took a while for me to be able to work through it. And I don't think I did till after I left, after I graduated.
That's real.
And I mean, that's just honest. And it's one of those things that in a weird sort of way prepares you for corporate America. Because I mean, ultimately, that's what college is. They just want to know if you're able to stick to a schedule, work with groups of people, and do so in a way that is a step and repeat system, you know, that you can pretty much do this in a corporate setting as well. So being able to...
How did you cope? How did you cope, Fay?
Music.
Yeah. How did you cope in that environment?
I think art helped me cope. I think being able to, like, we've all seen Awkward Black Girl. I felt like Issa Rae was like rapping in the mirror by myself.
Issa was all of us.
Issa was all of us, you know?
Yes.
I could definitely cope by writing out my thoughts, writing out my feelings. And I had music as an outlet, which was a very important part of just being able to work through everything because, back then, I wasn't going to therapy. Black people don't do therapy. Not then. It was like, oh, just pray about it. We're going to go to church. It's like, well, God gave us therapists.
You better get in that closet.
Right. You better get in that prayer closet. Look, it's true.
I think it's so valid and powerful what you're saying because we all have that in common. That's something I ran into with how I speak, how I come off, how I talk, or getting perceived as a certain way, and always in the back of your head, okay, is my reaction being perceived this way, or now am I going to be labeled the angry Black woman on campus for whatever reason? Even if your feelings are valid, you're still am I thinking, am I overanalyzing it? Is something wrong with me? You kind of turn it inward. So I think that's such a beautiful moment, thing that you pointed out, Faye. I was going to ask, because, you did end up pledging. How did you find your people and then decide to pledge? What was that process?
Yeah, I have to touch on this really quick though, Adell. I did snap on my teammates once or twice, and this is, I just feel like I should apologize because they didn't deserve that.
There's no apology needed.
None.
I think that's
X that.
Okay, that's fair.
What was the story? Why did you snap?
For College of Charleston women's basketball team, even Columbia High women's basketball team, I have to apologize to my teammates. It was a few times I did snap.
You go all the way back to high school.
I'm gonna go to high school too, because there was other things as well, with the Oreo comments and all of that stuff. That was definitely high school. So that's my own thing. I worked through it. It's fine. But for my teammates in college, so there's two instances I'm thinking of. The first one was one of my teammates asked me, why don't Black girls shave their legs? And I was like, why would I know that? It was just, but I'm realizing.
I'm sorry. The way Anna's head just dropped.
I know that I saw Anna's head. And I had so many thoughts rush to my mouth at the time.
What did you say?
I don't even fully remember. Again, I was 18 or 19, but I'm pretty sure what the fuck was in there. Yeah. I'm pretty sure what the fuck was in there. And I don't even know. Can we curse on here? Y'all can bleep it out.
Do your
thing. So I'm pretty sure what the fuck was in there. And just a conversation of why would I know what every Black girl does, and I don't think they were prepared for my answer just as much as I wasn't prepared for the question. So that's one instance that definitely sticks out to me. The other was two of my teammates who were both white. One of them called, the other one's like, man, I don't know, nigga. And they just stopped because they forgot I was there. And I stopped and I was so taken aback. One of the girls is my homie, I'm not gonna say her name, but that's my dude. We still cool to this day. But the other girl, she was so, she just said whatever came to mind. It was a lot dealing with her. But she was like, wait, she don't care. I was nothing almost. And again, you spend so much time with your teammates. I think when they say stuff, sometimes they would get away with it. And so they just assume whenever, you're one of the ones that doesn't care. And it's no, I do care, Mm-hmm. And so my other teammate who's my homie, she was like, yo, nah, that's not cool. Or what? So she actually was like, yo, it just doesn't feel right. And so the other girl was like, man, what? Do you care if I call her that? And I was like, I don't care what you all call each other, but I don't like the way it makes me feel when I'm here. So I'm going to leave. And I left, and I just didn't talk to her for a while. But I'm realizing that could have been more of a teachable moment. But again, I wasn't processing that. I don't think in 2001. And
also it puts an added responsibility. We don't gotta be the ones that always teach. Sometimes
always teach.
I don't want to teach you. That's just wrong. I'm not your professor.
Yeah.
I just don't know
the protocol. I don't know the protocol for that. But anyway, those are two instances that popped in my head immediately.
And I feel sometimes especially in those PWI spaces, we have those friends or folk that get really comfortable, a little too comfortable. It's not on me to teach you your levels, but it's on me to kind of level set my boundaries. And you got to respect those, but I also don't need to teach you. Go ask somebody else. I
like what you said. I like to level set my boundaries, and especially now, today, when there are so many resources and tools out there. The teachable moment thing, that's out the way. Yeah, no. You can educate yourself. Google. You got Google today.
Now back to you pledging.
Well, back to pledging,
yes. Your community. Finding the community.
Yes, so let me go back to, so this is more of a joy space. I think Alpha Kappa Alpha was just embedded in me since I was a little girl. Both my aunts on my dad's side were AKAs, and the majority of women that were friends with my mom, like I call them my tribe of aunties, related to or not, were all AKAs. So all I knew was pink and green. But before I made the decision, because I had a really close friend who was a Zeta. She ended up coming to College of Charleston as well. And I like the Zetas on our campus. Shout out to the CFC Zetas, because they were every function. Like they were just always there. But same for AKA. Like there was a lot that happened. I would say like a year, 2 or 3 years before I pledged, a thing happened in our region. But when we did have the AKs return to campus, I just knew that was what was best for me. And that was after reading the books and doing the research and just deciding for myself. As far as the women who were on campus, I love my line. The women that graduated 2 or 3 years ahead, like they were all super smart, super visible on campus. And I don't know if I'm sure you experienced this too at your schools. Like when you are on a white campus, like communities are like that much stronger. And, to have people look out for you, have conversations with you and check in with you. Like all of those things were made a huge impression on me. And that kind of stuck with me to help me make my decision. So, yeah.
What was your line name?
I was going to ask that.
Floetic.
Okay.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
Of course.
Everything about Fay is just so fly. I can't. Like,
it's so hip hop.
I can't.
I was spoiled.
Did you know any of your line sisters like before you went through the pledging process?
Yeah, actually, I'd say like at least half, probably more, 75% of them before we went through the process together. And actually, one of my line sisters who I was really close with in college, we went to high school together too.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. That's really cool.
So, yeah.
So what are some other communities that you found on campus? Because to your point, once you kind of latch in with the Black folk, you latch in. So
you latch in.
Organizations
Black Student Union for sure. Black Student Union. Like,
Fay, where'd you find the time? I don't even understand, but keep going.
I was always there. I was always on campus. That's the thing. The biggest, I wouldn't even say the biggest controversy. For a while, we had been fighting for the Confederate flag to come off the State House dome or whatever. Like that was our big thing in the early 2000s. And outside of that, like as far as organizing or doing marches, like I don't think we had any like big thing that stuck out. But I feel like if we did the way that we came together, like we would, just know how to mobilize, connect, and get it done. But a lot of us congregating together was really just from a unification standpoint and just setting up our own safe spaces, even if that was study hall or if it was a talent show or, whatever it might be to bring folks together, having visibility at the games, like, having like a section to sit together, like all of that stuff seems really, I don't want to say it's just as important, I think.
Yeah.
Just to kind of have your tribe in your safe space and to be able to know what places on campus where we're all just going to be hanging out and congregating together, like all of that stuff made a difference. So, you know, Black student unions stuck out a good bit for me as well. And just feeling like, all right, I wouldn't even say a home away from home, but I had space with folks while on campus. I get that. You know?
That's dope.
Yeah.
And it is important. It's not trivial at all. It's not small. Because in college, it's an interesting thing. You get a couple classes a day.
Yeah.
Da-da. Now what?
And then,
it's like,
and then
you know,
what?
Then what?
You gotta,
Where do I go?
What? You're hanging out with your people. Like, that's an important part of this thing. You know, if you got something coming up, of course you're studying. But a lot of people study at certain times. A lot of people study at night. You know, so when you're done with your classes, if you don't have community or your people around or a dorm room to go sleep in or make some ramen in, I don't know. You can really feel disconnected and very lonely and alone, especially at a PWI.
Yeah, and especially like even if you leave home too. Oh my gosh, that's really rough. Yeah, for sure. But no, I think it's cool because you wanna. That's what this is about. You know, the head nod. We finding each other. We head nod and we latching on. We building community.
Absolutely,
we doing those things. That's what all that's about. So, you know, you said y'all was the top party school. What was you doing at them parties? What was that scene? Don't you say you wasn't there
DJing?
I missed out. I missed out. I'm telling you, like
whatever. I don't believe that. You was nah.
I might
have
How
gone is the DJ missing the parties?
It didn't happen. I don't know. I feel like I missed my wild years. Maybe I just.
Fay, you went to the top party school.
I went to the top party school and didn't party. I was in there studying. So what's funny is me and my homegirl from she went to Columbia High too. Our first year we lived in Kelly House dorms. So the Kelly House dorms were pretty much, they used to be off-campus apartments that the college eventually purchased, right? And it was mass chaos for the first semester. I'm talking about toilet papering the place. And these were nice dorms, by the way, because they used to be like apartments, like changed up. It was pink, like it glowed when you went in there. But when I say these kids fall, it was like in a square in the lawn, like it'd be like dudes just passed out. And I'm trying, is it Blue Lights? What's the football movie with not happening? I'm gonna bring it back to you.
I know what you.
Flashing lights, blue lights. I don't know. Edit all of this out. But imagine mass chaos. I'm talking about everything from country music to rock music to hip hop music. So every type of music blaring in the system. And because it's in a quad, like all of it's coming inside the yard, and suds, whatever, coming into the space. People having the time of their lives. For the first semester. I'll never forget, my homegirl was like, yo, Shauna, they used to call me by my middle name back then. Shauna, I guarantee next semester this place is going to be quiet. Because the other thing about College of Charleston, they didn't play when it came to academic probation. Like if you didn't make a certain level, like you going to be on probation or you going home. When I say the next semester was a library, like, that's how insane. Because, again, this is like your first time away from home. Like, your parents aren't there. And you're pretty much in apartments with 17, 18, 19-year-olds. And there's like 2 to 4 people to a house. So it was like insane for, I would say, the first semester of college. And then you couldn't hear it. Like, you could hear a pin drop. Like, easy. And I missed all of that.
They got those grades from the first quarter.
They got those grades and they went home.
Right.
They went home. Because College of Charleston was not playing. C.
Yes, doing your call again.
Yeah, I know, right? But it also makes sense because being a student athlete is a whole mood. I mean, I walked on to the softball team at Drake. And I was like,
come on now.
Dropping random things. What? Every episode I feel like I'm saying, Why have I never heard this? But go ahead.
It's not something I talk about, but I did. It was quite the experience. I was better at basketball, but I was too afraid to try out. If I had a regret in my whole life, it was that I didn't play basketball. But I played softball for a little bit, but it's a lot of freaking work.
Yeah.
2-a-days, lifting in the morning, practices in the evening, in season, out of season ball. Most people don't even know there's spring ball, like fall ball, like it's ball all the time. So
you better preach.
It just doesn't stop. And when you're working out that much, your body is tired. You don't eat enough. People would call me sleepy because wherever I landed, I just went to sleep. Like everybody in the dorm room, people just leave me in there. Anna sleep, she'll wake up, she'll find us later. Like, I mean, that's just what it was. So I get it.
What position did you play?
Left field.
Downstairs.
Oh, you was good. Wait, because that's where the ball goes all the time.
I was fast. Yeah, I was pretty good. I was all right. I wasn't as good as the other players. I came from a school that didn't have like the best softball program, but I was just naturally like athletic. So I could, I caught on towards softball. The end, but.
Right, for real.
Because y'all playing in that heat too.
That heat.
Spring sports. Spring sports were next
Endurance.
Level. Respect.
Yeah. Yo, it was hot out there, and I was in Iowa, and so we were playing teams in the Midwest with Confederate flags on the back of their trucks. G, it was a whole mood.
Was you the only black person on the team?
Yeah.
Wow.
Am I making that up? No, I'm sure of it. There was a brown person, Malay. Did I pronounce her name right? Malay.
That feels right.
Yeah. She was a brown person. But yeah, I'm almost certain. Had to be. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was pretty normal. In softball, that's pretty normal. Like
yeah.
It's not like a whole bunch of black girls playing softball,
Yeah. And your legs were strong because them softball girls, they got them diesel legs. Their legs was always strong.
Softball girls are strong, period. Okay.
Yeah, man, they a whole nother breed, man. Like for real.
Yo.
Facts.
Them girls on the team, they was bench pressing like as much as the guys in the weight room. Sweet. Like it ain't no punk. Like they strong as hell. Party on at this PWI.
So Faye, you went to the party school and didn't party. That's okay. You got good grades and you got out of there. It's okay. So, we have our segments. It's because, you've been here since day one. So one of our segments, we talk about what is some music that you got exposed to. So what's like a white song or something that you may have gotten exposed to by going to a PWI? I know you got something.
You would think, right? What's funny is, for South Carolina, we didn't really have a hip hop station until I was in like high school. Like it was just always mixed frequency radio. So I listened to obviously a lot of gospel, but when I say like it would be Audio Slave and then like who was the hip hop groups back then? It would be like Audio Slave, Mario, and then some hip hop song to come on after that. That was quite normal. Like Hootie and the Blowfish was like our claim to fame. So I just feel like it was always there. Always there. All right, but let me try to think.
Don't put Hootie in it.
Right.
Hootie was kind of black.
Not kind of black.
He was a little black.
Hootie was black. We gonna take it. We gonna own Hootie.
We gonna own Hootie? Okay, we'll own Hootie.
We're gonna own Hootie.
They was a move, weren't they?
Yeah.
The kids today don't even know what a Hootie and a Blowfish. Matter of fact, even just saying the name don't sound right. What were they thinking?
No, it don't.
Yeah, it feels wrong.
What is a Hootie and a Blowfish? It don't feel right.
But when you think about it, a lot of those bands in that time the names didn't feel that great. Yeah. Faye, you ain't got no songs? The Hootie.
No, I wouldn't even count Hootie as one of the songs. Like that was just how the radio station was set up. Like it'd be like a hip hop song, a country song, a rock song, and a pop song. And it was always on the same station because we didn't have hip hop stations until I was in high school. I think Hot 103.9 was the station down here. But I used to listen to DJ Prince Ice, and he was from Jersey. So he would do like hip hop mixes on the Big DM, which was like the adult contemporary station. So I'm just lining y'all up for, I was pretty much listening to white music my entire life. And actually you can't even say that because I mean, American music is black music. So rock, country, like all, like every house, all of that's us anyway. But I will say what's traditionally recognized as other genres outside of hip hop and R&B. Like, what song did they love? And again, you know, I was in college, like, pop was kind of popping. You know, that was NSYNC and Britney. So that stuff we was already listening to. So it wasn't like any...
But it's still good. I mean, NSYNC went hard. I was all on the Bye 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 train. I was all
my teammate Beth could do, like, the entire... NSYNC album. Like, she had dance moves choreographed.
Oh yeah, I wasn't that dedicated. That's pretty deep.
Nah, she was a huge fan. I would say any B-sides from NSYNC, I would say Beth did that, but I can't front like I wasn't listening to Bye 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 already. So I don't know.
Bye, bye.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
Another segment, right, is our click your heels 3 times. Is there that moment where you wanted to click your heels and go back home? Like, I'm out of
here. Plenty of times.
Yeah.
Plenty of times.
Any stories?
Sheesh. There was a time... it's a duality. I'm going to talk about duality again, right? Because part of it is like, okay, I made this decision to be here, so I have to finish and I need to be this person while I'm here because, you know, my presence is not only am I doing this for myself to make something out of myself and to prove that all the challenges, all the obstacles, everything that I overcame, I'm supposed to be here, right? So there's that feeling of it. And then it's the other feeling of, why am I putting myself through this? Like, why am I feeling like my worth is dependent on how other people's view me? Like the respectability politics of it, it's I think I struggle with that a lot. And there were plenty of times where it's like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And it's kind of like Anna, you were speaking about it earlier, like consistently being in pain just because physically my body hurts all the time. Just that part. And dealing with microaggressions from every angle, whether it be a professor, a coach, or a teammate, or just a regular classmate. Like, why do I have to deal with this all the time? Right. And then you have your own goals, but also sometimes your own pressures that you set up for yourself. Like, I need to show up in this capacity to prove this about me. And it's like, well, you already know yourself and you made it this far. So why are you putting this extra pressure on yourself to appease someone else's opinion of you? Or what is the root of this? Right. So there was plenty of times where, yeah, to some degree, I was like, I feel like I just want this to finish. Like, I don't know, should I take extra classes so I can graduate early? Like, what should I do to get out of this situation or what I'm creating as a situation? But then ultimately it's like, nah, I'm gonna fight through it. Like, right. I knew I would be up against this before I came here. Like, this is what I signed up for. And I think just in general, as Black women, like, we always lift as we climb. So and to some degree, it worked in tandem, right? So my school knew that they wanted to recruit more people like me, but they needed more people that looked like me to recruit for their team. Right?
Yeah.
And I feel like, yeah, I'm going to open this door, but I'm going to kick it off the hinges if I do, and make it that much easier for the next person coming behind me, you know? So what might have started out as 3 black girls on a team, by the time I left, there was like at least 6, you know? So it's like that was something. And like looking back on it now, I get it more. Cause again, I'm not going to act like I figured all this out when I was 18 or 19, cause I didn't. But
right.
Looking back on it now, it's just like, yeah, that's what we're supposed to do.
I have a question. How did you know?
So, our next segment is the opposite part of that. Is there a moment that happened that you were like, okay, I like it here, I can do this, you know, I want to stay here? How did you know it was that moment for you to stay there?
I like it here. And
how did you know?
I don't know. I knew at the end of my freshman year I was going to do complete my education there. And I'm not going to front, like, just as many like questionable times, I had good times as well with my teammates, and with my classmates on campus. And ultimately, I do think that it was a good school. But yeah, I would say at the end of my freshman year, I knew that I was going to stick it out. I knew that there wasn't going to be a time where I would transfer or leave. And I think it was just a culmination of everything between, and don't get me wrong, like our season, like our record, it was horrible. Like it sucked so bad. But also, I mean, and this is from somebody, because in high school, like we lost 2 games. Like, we were like 98-2. Like that's how good our team was. So like everything sucked after that.
So in college, it was the
everything worked.
It was 2 and 98. No, I'm just playing. And like yeah, when I I think my senior year we ended at 500. I think it was like 12 and 12 or something like that. But you know, it was a part of that, like finding the tribe. I think like after freshman year, because also in Charleston, there were no HBCUs in Charleston either. So we were also cool with the students that went to the Citadel. We were also cool with the students that went to Charleston Southern University, which was like further up in Charleston. So it was like all of the campuses of Black folks kind of had a community as well, which is interesting. Actually, the Omegas on our campus had more of a city chapter, just because they're, you know, for one, they weren't, their lines were always so small, but also it would take the entire city for them to make up their line of 3 or 4 people, to be honest, you know, but it was very, very close quarters. And yeah, you know, very communal.
It seemed like that community kept you. You know what I mean?
It did.
Yes.
It did. It was a big part of my life. Yeah. Big part of my life.
Beautiful. Well, Fay,
thank you, Fay.
It's been a blast. We've loved having you on.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate this. I know that I ramble a lot too, so have fun editing this episode and remixing it.
You're all good.
Sometimes I be talking, I'll be like, what was the question again? Totally forgot. No, but seriously.
You be preaching though. You be dropping it. I'm like, okay, Fay, I hear you. Yes. Yeah.
We got you.
But no, this is dope. This is dope. I love this. This was a good time. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to the Head Nod Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on the Qube app and at DCP Official across social. Family, follow my sis Adell at I am Adell Coleman across all socials.
And follow the coolest to ever do it, DeShawn at DeShawn on all socials.
Listen wherever you get your podcasts. And if you really dig it, leave a rating and a review. Keep nodding your heads with us. Until next time, this is the Head Nod.